I don't have an intro for these anymore, so yeah, we're just gonna get started right away. Bye. Sorry about that. We'll get started now. Dream Dimension Hunter Fandora English dub. This is an an OVA created by manga artist Go Nagai. He created around 1985, and this was planned to get an English dubbed. And due to the high cost of it, not many copies sold in the West. And it never aired on television due to the fact that it never gained popularity outside of Japan. However, on June 5th of this year, part 1 of this OVA was uploaded onto YouTube by user Neil Nadelman, who explained that it was captured from a 4th generation VHS copy. The rest of the dub is still lost to this day. Okay. England 0-1 Scotland. This international football game was significant, as not only it was the first televised international football match, but the first televised match to be shown in full. This happened on April 9th, 1938. It aired on the BBC. And like many early ones, it wasn't recorded. Aside from some footage from a highlight reel, other footage is still lost and could probably never see the light of day. Equals 3. Equals 3 was an internet series created by famous YouTuber Ray William Johnson in 2009. And because was going to become one of the most popular internet series while also being one of the most critically panned, apparently. Basically, and the series is basically about Ray looking at random I guess 3 random YouTube videos and making jokes about them. Some of which are kind of explicit. The show ended in 2016. Apparently, there were now once, as recently, I believe, one of the episodes that was previously found has since become lost again. Those being the ones No Sex, Wanna Get High, Horny Brits, and Space Cats. Also, as well as an episode from 2011 with an edited version currently up. And that's all. Extreme Monsters Saving Steiner. Extreme Monsters was a children's chapter book series created by Randy Meredith and Eric Smith and published by Penny Candy Press, as well as Penny Candy's Press's parent company, Brighter Minds Media, from 2005 to 2007. That was about the adventures of preteen monsters who played extreme sports, which is unique, I guess. I don't know. One of these there was another one that was planned to be made called Staving Steiner, which entailed how the extreme Val, Jinx, and Wolf freed Steiner from his contract with Pendant, the company behind their rival Pay and Pendant. The date it was made is unknown, but it was never published. Chances of the material used in the graphic novel being uncovered are very unlikely, as Brighter Minds Media went out of business in 2011. Falling. Falling was an independent drama film written, directed, and starring Richard Chur, known for his LDS-themed movies. Dubbed the first R-rated Mormon movie during its brief theatrical run in 2008, the film has yet to receive a home media release. The plot is too long for me to list, but the Lost Media Wiki article on Falling can give you a good. It had a very, like I said, it had a very brief run in theaters in 2008. And Dutcher has stated it wanted to stay that way because that due to personal content of its film, it was be never shown to the public. All that remains is the poster and a trailer. Fight Harm. Fight Harm is an unfinished dark comedy film by director Harmony Korine, described as the future of comedy by Korine himself. In Fight Harm, Korine goes around the streets of Manhattan, provoking people into fighting him. He did set a few rules, such as the people who fought had to be bigger than him, through the first punch, and the camera crew could not break up the fight until he was knocked out. After sustaining multiple injuries, getting arrested, and having enough footage to make a full movie, the project was shelved. Corian has gone on to show few people the footage, but the entire 17 minutes of footage has yet to resurface. Corian refuses to release the footage due to many issues. That would be funnier as it gets older. It's unlikely that it'll release anytime soon. Figure It Out lost episode. Figure It Out was a children's game show that aired on Nickelodeon from July 1997 to or 1999, hosted by Summer Sanders, and a revival in 2012 brought back when it was hosted by Jeff Sutphin. The premise is similar to classic panel shows like I've Got a Secret and What's My Line. However, one specific episode is lost, being episode 40 of season 2, wherein the contestants' contest secret talent was leaked inhaled milk from the talent performed by a teenager from New Hampshire named Anthony, and he was to effectively snort milk through his nose and then push the liquid out through his eyes. The contestant's secret was not guessed by the panel, and he was awarded the grand prize, which included a trip to Universal. The episode aired only once in April 1998 before being pulled from repeat airings. Reportedly, a mother contacted Nickelodeon to complain about the episode after her child tried to emulate a talent. Maybe they should have put a I guess that's the phrase, don't try this at home. This is somewhat strange that they had several bodily secrets prior to this episode that is equally or even more redundant. And even at the initial airing, I guess someone still decided to do it. Although the episode has never been rerun, recordings of the show for the shows from that era on Nickelodeon are common to find, meaning it is very possible that someone recorded the episode during its only airing. Frankie Pickle lost fourth and fifth book. Frankie Pickle is a series of children's books created by Eric Wright. The series featured the titular character doing normal everyday things but shown to the audience through his imagination. And there was a possible fourth and fifth book which are lost. The fourth one entitled Land of the Lost Recess. It was listed to be the release date December 2030, which is a common placeholder date, known to have a public indication. Meaning it's next is the fifth book, which isn't even confirmed to exist. Invasion of the Polka Dots. It's unknown whether this book even exists at all. Fright Night. Fright Night was an unreleased game for the Action Max VHS game system that was made in the late 80s. The only mention of this game is a scorecard which mentions the unreleased game and available alongside Blue Thunder and an Action Max, which is mentioned Action Max in the Action Max alongside Blue Thunder. It's unlikely this game will ever see the light of day. Girl Crazy. Girl Crazy was a micro-budgeted romantic comedy film that marked the directorial debut for future LDS filmmaker Richard Detcher. Completed in 1994, the film was sold 3 years later to HBO's Cinemax service. It was not released internationally as to resurface on any home media platform. The only stuff that has available of this film is a few still shots and the film's poster. And an image of the film credits has been spotted on a blog, but it's unknown if the owner has a taped copy of the full. Though it could be. Hold on. I will be back soon. I just need to get something. Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was unmuted. Anyway, so Girl TV, an Australian TV show that aired from 2003 to 2005 that has very little information on it. Only one full episode is available online, though a couple interview a few interviews have surfaced, but it's unknown how many episodes of the show existed. Gotcha, Gotcha Hackenschmidt match film 1911. This was a world championship wrestling match. It's from 1911, in which Frank Gotch won from Hackenschmidt 3 years earlier. It's one of the most infamous matches in pro wrestling history, and that's due to not being one of only being one of, if not the first biggest rematches, but also the controversy revolving around Hackenschmidt and his injured knee. Yeah, yeah, but Gotch retired just 2 years after winning later as champion, being wrestling his final match on April 1st, 1913, greeting George Lurick, and would pass away in 1917. And Hackenschmidt would pass away in 1968. No footage of this exists, only two images and a poster advertising the match. Great Temptation lost episode. Great Temptation was an Australian game show that aired on the 10 network from 1970 to 1975. It's known as an earlier version of this Australian show Sale of the Century that aired 5 years after this ended. And it was hosted by Australian television network Tony Barber, which would be his first hosting duty. The show's format is very similar to Sale of the Century. And while it hasn't been seen since its original airings, one episode hasn't been seen at all. According to Barber himself in an interview on Today Extra in April 2016, he states, quote, "No one was very sure at first because she actually won the game. I said, 'Congratulations, Valerie, you've won.' And she slopped. There was a bit of confusion. We cleared the studio and the doctors were called." Barber then headed back into his dressing room where he said the floor manager gave him an update on the situation. He then concluded, quote, "I said, 'How is she She seems passed out.' And he said, 'Tony, she's passed on.' It was awful and very upsetting for everybody there." Taping was halted immediately. The episode was never completed and never aired due to this incident. Nobody knows what killed her, and how much she won is also unknown. Not much else is known about the episode or when it was taped during the series' sixth run. Given that it was taped in the early 1970s, where reusing tapes was common at the network, it's extremely unlikely that the episode will ever see the light of day. Green Monkeys. Just thought I'd put that in there for anyone who did want to join. Anyway, Green Monkeys is a failed Disney animated pilot created by Betty and Michael Kevas, who were the creators of Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, and would have revolved around two monkeys named Spider and Flytrap, whom, after they are taken out of the jungle, they retired to run a temp agency in the Lower East Side of NYC. It was the option. Disney hired Spunko under the supervision of John Kricfalusi to further develop television, and some character designs were made by him. Disney ultimately ended up passing on the series for an unknown reason, and they would ultimately create the series into a comic strip. The only stuff that has surfaced is concept art, even with some released by Crick. So, yeah, you can if you use a link. Hold on. Let me just edit the description. Halo DS. Halo DS is an unsolicited demo of a game in the Halo franchise for the Nintendo DS. Obviously. It was first mentioned in 2007 when IGN's Matt Casamassina made a blog post claiming to have played a game called Halo DS, claiming that the game was completely up and running and fully playable. There were doubts about this. It's about this. To which Matt stated that the game was stated that it was with a very it was released by created by a real development studio by and even uploaded some footage, gameplay videos. This didn't sway people's. People have brought up that the gameplay is similar to that of the DS game GoldenEye Rogue Agent, and leading people to believe that the a developer was EA because of this. Some others thinks that it's just a ROM hack, and it's not known which part of the story is true. And because of that, it's unlikely we'll get any closure to what this even is. Hands up. Hands Up was a silent adventure themed film serial released in 1918, comprised of 15 chapters. It starred Ruth Rowland playing the main star, Echo Delane, and George Chisebro played Hands Up, the cowboy of whom the serial was named. Despite being considered a serial, none of the 15 episodes are accessible on the internet, and due to the reels being over 100 years, they're unlikely to resurface. However, numerous posters and screenshots can be seen online and a promotional trailer is currently stored in the UCLA Film Archive and described in detail in the Frame Cinemas Journal. Haysden. Give me a second. Hey, also known as Chief Joker, this is a fantasy comedy anime that aired from 19 and aired on Fuji TV from 1972 to 1973, and was the first show produced by Sunrise. The story is about a goby fish named Haysden who travels the world with his best friends Puyan, a blowfish, and Shiran, a mermaid. Why am I getting Little Mermaid vibes now? The show was structured by one season of 26 episodes. Of the 26, 17 are found online, while the other 9 are lost in their entirety. So unlike most obscure anime, this one has quite a few found episodes. Heavyweight champ. Now, this is this arcade game by Sega was released in 1976 for being regarded as the first game in the fighting genre. The the machine had one boxing glove for both players protruding that acted loosely like a joystick, and that would feature an important depending on what the direction the stick was going. The game was remade in 1987, and according to Security, the remake was so popular that it overshadowed the original's popularity, causing it to be lost. At least one prototype cabinet is known to be since, but it looks severely damaged. But it looks kind of damaged. It's unknown if it even works. High performance. High Performance was an action series that aired on ABC in the spring of 1983. Premiered on March 2nd and was on the air for 3 more episodes until March 23rd. The plot involved Here's the plot. Brennan Flannery, played by Mitchell Ryan, a former race car driver, is approached by former military intelligence officer Blue Stratton, played by Jack Scalia, who have him expand his driving school to include a bodyguard business. They are then joined by Brennan's daughter Kate, played by Lisa Hartman, a survival expert, and Shane Adams, played by Rick Edwards, an aspiring race car driver, and go out on missions to protect the world from no good or disaster. It has never been re-aired since its original airing, and only several promos, a video of the featuring the series' theme song, and a second draft had resurfaced. However, in May of 2020, the first episode, albeit without the intro and outro, was uploaded on the Internet Archive by Flemish Dog, sourced from an Australian broadcast on Nine Network in November 1984. And on February 17th, 2021, Lost Media Wiki user Halo Fan recovered the whole show from a private torrent tracker. High Rollers. High Rollers was a game show that aired on and off in the 70s and 80s. And while the many episodes from the NBC version have surfaced, there is currently no surviving footage of the syndicated version of the NBC. No syndicated episodes have been available anywhere. The format is very similar to the Geist game Shut the Box, which I can't really explain it. It's complicated, too long. The, the syndicate. For most of the syndicated run, the show was hosted by the late Alex Trebek, and while the 1987 episodes were hosted by Wink Martindale. Currently, no episodes of the syndicated version have survived, though a couple of stills have survived, including one discovered in 2020 in a Fox News tribute to Alex Trebek, from when he died. Hyde Park Corner. I'm gonna advertise real quick before I continue. Hyde Park Corner, also known as leisurely pedestrians, top or open-topped buses and hansom cabs with trotting horses. This is an 1889 silent actuality film produced by inventor and pioneer William Fries Green. Depicts life at the film depicts life at Hyde Park Corner in London and is claimed to be the first film set in London as well as the first to be filmed on a celluloid. And it's no surprise that this has slipped through the cracks. All that we have are film frames possibly found which could possibly be from the film as part of the Jonathan Silent Film Collection. iCarly, How To. iCarly, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of iCarly, as it's probably one of the most popular Nickelodeon sitcoms of the 2000 of the 21st century. One piece of merchandise spawned by the show was a web show set, including 4 pieces sets replicating the show seen on the show, 8 character pieces, 9 prop pieces, and a how-to DVD. They also state a product release date of December 10th, 2016, though considered the original release date of the television show, this is more likely it was aired during the show was still airing. A review on the American Amazon page was written in 2011, so it was likely released sometime around that. The iCarly out of context Twitter, now X account, heading the search. Some content that may be from the DVDs was available on YouTube, but it's unconfirmed if it's the DVD content. However, on December 21st, 2021, archive.org user GeoFire's TV Recording Bungalow uploaded the DVD contents to the site, rendering it as found. iCarly at the 2008 Kids' Choice Awards. Now, this was a short web series that was made to promote the obvious event. It revolved around Carly, Sam, and Freddie attending the award show due to Spencer building a sculpture for the award show, a Nickelodeon blimp made out of hot dog wieners. While the teens ran the show and played viewer footage, Spencer-related hijinks ensued. The series was could be watched on the official iCarly website until March of 2018 when Dan Schneider terminated his contract and parted with Nickelodeon, and likely because the controversies would have fueled things even more. Due to this, iCarly.com and all other websites that were affiliated with Dan shut down. It is believed that there are 6 episodes of the web series in total, with 4 out of 6, and with 2/3 or 4 out of 6 uploaded to YouTube, just 16 days before the termination. Even though 2 or more of the episodes were lost, people online have posted events from lost episodes. And on June 13th of 2021, YouTube user Quentin Reviews, known for finding all Norm, Nat, and John comic strips, who I mentioned for finding Norm Nat, got in contact with Lost Media Wiki user Race Olympics, who stated that he had all of the episodes of the web series. He then uploaded all 12 episodes, which was originally thought to be 6, on Vimeo under the alias Clinton Loose Screws. And have since also been They have also been mirrored on archive.org, where they can still be viewed. Icons Combat Arena. Icons Combat Arena was an early access free to play platform fighter PC game released in 2017 by Wave Dash Games, a company composed of the individuals behind Project M, the popular mod for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The game was intended to be played competitively during esports tournaments and had an always online DRM, which required an internet connection to play, even if someone who would want to play against bots. In 2018, the servers were shut down, making the game unplayable. Later that year, the game was made no longer available on Steam at the request of publishers. The game received negative reviews and was criticized for having a generic art style and being too similar to Super Smash Bros. Melee. The game lost. However, on September 12th, 2019, a post relating to Wave Dash Games was made on the blog for Vortex Rising, a project made by many of the Icons team. It detailed that following the company's shutdown in October of 2018, the owners had decided that they should sell all ownership of licensing to Wave brand and all related products. The company was sold at an auction to a man named Chris Kovalik, a supporter of the company and co-founder of Vortex Rising. His post detailed that he and a small team of ex-Wave Dash developers were working on Icons, but did not go into more detail. And on October 8th of the same year, Kovalik made another post on the Vortex blog stating that he has the fullest of intentions to release the new build, which will be under the title Icons Legacy Edition. 9 days later, it was released to the public with a fixed price tag of $4.99, making this piece of lost media found. Inumiya. Inumiya was a Japanese artist whom was very active in. Okay. Amusement Big Net, a Japanese website hosting 1997 until 2000. She had various files in her folders dedicated simply to art, and when Alexa Crawls was saving the Wayback Machine crawls, every file except one was corrupted. Pages on her website were Mia Mary, which translates to shrine visit. This contained one simple thing, an Amusement BigNet sign-in. There are also logs written by Inumiya on the sign-in page about music, exercise, keys, etc. Random stuff, I guess. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Not much. Iron Cross. Also going by the name that was also later retitled as Beautiful Blue Eyes. This was an English thriller film written and directed by Joshua Newton, starring Roy Scheider as a retired police officer detective who believes he has found the Nazi officer responsible for his family's death that's in his son's apartment complex. It was marked the final role of Scheider, who died during production. Newton completed the film through a prosthetic latex mask based on Scheider's face and CGI to appear in the unfinished scenes. It was first received a limited theatrical release between 2009 to 2000. But, however, following enough, the film became available through. But how was this found? Well, in 2022, a digital platform created by Movie Farm called Movie Key made the film available. and it can now be watched exclusively on that site. Israel, A Right to Live. Also known as just Israel, this is a 1967 BBC documentary film about the Sixth War directed. Is said to have been shot in Israel a few days in June after the war ended, and the film's subject was said the war from an Israeli's point of view. There are some conflicting claims about whether or not the documentary was completed, stating it was, but no one liked it and was never released. As of today, there are no known surviving prints of the film, no still images, and a full script of the documentary has not been available to the public. There's basically nothing, and I doubt we'll ever get to see it. I think we'll do a few more. It's a mad, 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 mad world. Deleted scenes. The 1963 chase comedy It's a Mad, 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 Mad World premiered with a length of 3 hours and 22 minutes, but as several weeks, Stanley Kramer decided to cut it down in order to be more accepted and shown in theaters and cinemas. Although many scenes were found thanks to both a special 1991 partially reconstruction laserdisc and a 20 Criterion DVD that included even more, approximately 5 minutes worth of scenes are still lost. All of these scenes are known to still exist. Graph confirmations of the cast and the final script. So I have a feel, which makes me believe that maybe for a later anniversary release, those deleted scenes could be made on some sort of DVD release. Who knows though? Maybe it could happen. Jackass, Too Hot for MTV. I think I've already talked about Jackass before, but anyway, Too Hot for MTV was a special that was slated to air on August 9th, 2002, and was meant to promote the upcoming Jackass the movie. And the performed in this one pushed the envelope for what could be broadcast on television, and even saw pressures from lawmakers to air the special. But it never did. In August 2021, the full uncensored version of the special was uploaded to YouTube by user Sloan's TV Archive, which has since been taken down by various results, but thankfully we have an archive.org version of the special. So if you do want to watch it, you can go to archive.org and watch. Journey Through Nutrition Land. Oh. Also sometimes misspelled as Journey Through Nutrition Land. This is an animated short, which is a 15-minute animated short created by Dan Haskett that was originally released in 1976. Now, the name, you may not know the name Dan Haskett, but you probably have definitely seen his animation work. He has had a lot of features, designed characters such as Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, Tiny Toon Adventures, and Alvin and the Chipmunks, 1980s version, Animaniacs. Helped to adapt The Simpsons for syndicated TV series, where he designed Moe, Miss Crabapple, and Barney. And more. And he is respected as an animator artist of immense talent. This short was distributed by the Kellogg's Company, and it's possible it was a tie into their food products under the guise of. According to Big Cartoon Database, the premise is as follows: quote, "Good nutrition is more than just having enough to eat. Having enough, we should exercise. Exercise is to satisfy our bodies' needs for vitamins and minerals." In this animated film, a group of children dream of a visit to Nutrition Land, where they're given a guided tour. This case is presented for a balanced diet. Good nutrition is like an invisible suit of armor, helps to protect you from diseases. The film introduces various characters representing various components of a satisfactory diet and presents the basics of good nutrition in an entertaining manner. The only stuff that has surfaced is a partial clip. It's unknown if the full one will ever see the light of day. Joy Junction. Oh, this gets a. Okay. Joy Junction is a 1980s Christian-themed television game show hosted by the host Sheriff Don, set at the fictional village Joy Junction along with the town's residents. Mr. Peterson, the Professor Ron, and his puppet Marty. In the show, the children of Joy Junction engage in many challenging games while learning valuable lessons from the Bible, including from the singers and a small segment of Ron and Marty. Show aired on the Christian television network through the mid-1980s before it was syndicated on several blocks like Kids Club from 1993 to 2005 and Smile. Ronald Brown, who was the puppeteer who had cast the role as the ventriloquist, was hit with pretty charges that I can't say here. He was also charged with a traffic violation back in '98 when the police spotted something not saying. The show's current whereabouts are unknown, as the tapes of the show may have been demolished after the Ron Brown case went wildfire, and nowadays only 2 surviving episodes exist, as well as many other clips uploaded to YouTube. Well, one episode is still available, being the episode Anger. Another episode called Adopted by God was also on YouTube, but that has since been privatized. Possibly because of the I don't know. Well, no known copies of either tape seem to exist, but it's unknown if any more episodes will see the light of day. And there are more episodes available on YouTube, but it's unknown how many there were. Leave It. In 1983, the British progressive rock band Yes released their 11th album, 90125, reaching 3 million copies sold in the US alone. They released their second single, Leave It. The accompanying song were 18 music videos to the song, and were shown, and were with MTV announcing a version that was about to be played. Version 11 was declared the official video to Leave It, and the other videos fell into obscurity. They're directed by Lowell Cream and Kevin Godley, also known as the rock duo Godley and Cream, and manager Tony Trez remarked that the choice of having the duo direct the film was to get away from the MTV video clip cliches. Demetrius also said that the videos were made to create audience participation, and Lil Creams during the making said that they intended to make the most boring music video ever. In 2022, we got quite a few more. How many of the there were there are quite a still missing. The Lost Media Wiki information has a list of what's been found and what hasn't. So if you want to go check that out, go ahead. I won't stop you. Less Than Zero pilot. Less Than Zero was a canceled online Hulu series based on the 1985 novel of the same name, written by Craig Wright, who also executive produced along with original author Bret Easton Ellis. The director of the series was Brett Morgan, and an entire pilot had finished in filming but was not picked up. And on the subject, Hulu SVP Craig Erwick said that, quote, "It was a tonally very ambitious project, but ultimately didn't feel like the elements came together. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be a chance for the pilot to be released to the public. Though 2 screenshots can be found of the pilot pic of them filming." So yeah, this is one of the more recent pieces of lost media. Looney Tunes Click and Read Phonics. This was an edutainment web series developed by C&K Digital, launched in 2011. There were 10 brand new animated shorts were created by in mission credit for the program, all clocking in at least 6 minutes, excluding interactive educational portions featuring Professor Wizbot, a new character exclusive to the shorts. Only of these six of these shorts were included in the scheme. Shorts were written by Bill Matheny, who previously wrote for the Looney Tunes DC comic series, and Joe Alasky did all the known voices for the shorts, which includes Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Taz, Sylvester, Tweety, and Yosemite Sam. And the animation was directed by Rob Fendler, who also directed the animation for Season 2 and onwards of Boomerang's The Tom and Jerry Show. You know, the Flash animated one. Shorts all fell into obscurity after the Flash elements of the website went down in 2019. There's no explanation as to why it went down, but some people believe that it's because C&K Digital might have gone out of business. However, in March of 2021, the program was uploaded to Blue Maxima's Flash, archiving every known lesson in animation. MacLib. Madlib is an American record producer and rapper based in California and is prominent in the alternative hip hop community for his collaborations with other hip hop artists, including the critically acclaimed Mad Villainy with experimental New York rapper MF Doom and the albums Pinata and Bandana with rapper Freddie Gibbs. In 2015, during the production of Pinata, Pittsburgh rapper Mac Miller was brought on to record a verse for the album's final track, a period of collaboration between Madlib and Miller, called MacLib. According to Madlib, these collaborations had by 2016 formed into tentative plans between the two to create an EP, with Madlib producing instrumentals and Mac Miller rapping over them. These songs would occasionally be played in festival sets by Madlib throughout 2017, which is the final time period given by Madlib for the album's production. Mac Miller died suddenly in 2018, accidentally overdosing on a combination of drugs and leaving his many plans unfinished. Only a few 2 videos, one of which was copyright blocked, were available. though the other one is still up on YouTube. Maldoror. This, Maldoror, also known as Blue Ecstasy or an Il Dio Selvaggio, is a 1977 unreleased Italian movie by Albert Calvalone, based on the 1869 poetic novel Les Chants de Maldoror or by Comte de la Chaumont. It also includes the references to the book The Savage God, A Story of Suicide by Alvarez. The movie follows the format of film within a film, and it tells the story of a film director called Paul, who's working on an adaptation of the book while having a problematic relationship with a married woman named Monica. The second half of the movie has Paolo going to Turkey to film a number of scenes and culminates with Paolo's death after falling from the top of a hill. The dying Paolo tells his cameraman to keep shooting. Cavallone started directing the film in Italy and Turkey in 1975. It was completed, but never, possibly due to its explicit anti-content. Around 1979, Cavallone attempted to reuse footage from the movie in another project, an exploitation flick called Blue Ecstasy. It has been alleged that one of the remaining copies of Maldoror was sold to a private collection for 20,000 euro. All that we have are screenshots, and apparently there was a video on YouTube, but has since been removed. Hold up, guys. I will be right back. Sorry, but back. Mars Needs Mom Seth Green vocal performance. Okay, this will be the last time I do this for today. Mars Needs Moms was a motion capture animated film created by Image and distributed by Disney. 11. It was the last film before Image Movers shut down. Based on a book written by Burke Breath and is about a disobedient 9-year-old boy named Milo who learns family after the Martians. His mother her and plans to kill her and use her for nanny bots. The film was a massive bomb, being considered the biggest animated bomb by some, as listed as one of the biggest bombs in film history outright, grossing a mere $39 million against its $150 million budget and receiving very negative reviews. Like from that ugly animation. Milo in the movie is played by a child actor named Seth Dusky, but originally his lines were recorded by Robot Chicken creator Seth Green did the motion capture. They were used in the film's first trailers, but ultimately they thought it sounded too deep and mature. However, on May 29th, 2020, Justin Wilton, known as Synfile Studios, found the original Seth audio from Green Audio. While ripping the film to use as clips for his 2018 review of the film using the Blu-ray, he heard Seth Green's audio instead of Seth Dusky's. The audio was left in Wilton's files for 2 years until he shared the audio on SoundCloud, and he subsequently uploaded the full cut of the film onto the Internet Archive on May 30th of 2020. Further research by Off the Cutting Room Floor podcast uncovered a Blu-ray.com review of the film, which mentioned the use of Green's audio in full, part of the Life on Mars, the Full Motion Capture Experience special feature. Wilton confirmed the existence of this special feature along with the inclusion of Green's performance. Definitely one of the strangest things. Alright. That'll be it for today. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow for this one. Bye!